It feels like a Thursday, but it's a Wednesday. Here tonight to talk about how to go from, 9 to 5 corporate to having a well-paid side hustle as a side hustlepreneur. All right. So excited to talk to you about this tonight. Before I jump right into that, if you are on Facebook, go ahead and drop below where you're coming from so I can say hello. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you also let me know where you're tuning in from. Say hello, and also make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I'm going live again to give more trainings, resources to help you make money from home. All right, so let's jump right into it tonight. My quick story that I always share again is over a year ago, I was working in a job that I was really unhappy. I hated it, did not like it. And I was looking for a change, and I made a choice that forever changed my life forever, because I learned how to basically position myself to always have a well-paid side hustle. It allowed me to quit my toxic salary job, and I went on to make a lot of money online. So I love coming online and showing other people how they can do exactly that from home. I'm in my bedroom, and you could be too. Okay, so that's what I'm excited to show you how to do. Now, what a lot of people want to do when they decide they want a well-paid side hustle is they go get a second job. And what I'm going to talk about today is why that's not the solution, and how you actually put yourself at a disadvantage by doing just that. Okay. So a lot of people go out, they go get a second job, working somewhere else. They get their little W-9 and they put themselves at a big disadvantage. Here are the reasons why getting a second job is not the solution and having a well-paid side hustle is. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can build a well-paid side hustle. So the problem is that when you go out and you say, okay, I'm going to go get a second job because I want to boost more income for whatever reason. Maybe, you were saving for a trip. Maybe you want to put more in savings. Maybe you want to position yourself to eventually be able to walk away from your job, whatever it is, right? There's a lot of reasons why people want to get a second job or to increase their income. But the problem is when you go out and typically you're in a 9 to 5, a well-paying 9 to 5, you are in a salaried position. All right. You go out, you go get a second job. Now you put yourself most likely in a new tax bracket. So you might have gone from being in a 15% tax bracket to the 25% tax bracket from that W-9 job. Okay. And on top of that, you have no tax protections. Okay. Which means that when April comes around, instead of all the savings that you saw in your check throughout the year, the extra little cash flow that you got throughout the year, now you owe a tax bill. So it's kind of counterproductive, right? Also, you're going to have less time. I know from myself, as someone who worked a salary job and then had a second job on the side, I was literally leaving one job, went home for maybe like 20-30 minutes, right? Had to stuff my face with stuff and then go on to the next job. All right. So you have less time. And it just doesn't always make sense. Okay. And on top of that, you're actually spending the little bit of extra cash flow that you are making. You're spending more money because you're spending money on food, because you might not have a lot of time to throw things together. Then you might have a uniform or something that you need to get, right? So you're spending money on that. If you have a child, you're trying to arrange child care or argue with your spouse about child care so you could go make that happen. Okay. And then you have really no control of your schedule with a second job. So you may submit your schedule, but they decide I remember I worked at Walmart for over 2 years as a cashier on the side. I mean, it paid nice as a cashier, right? So I was like, I'll do this, right? And then one Thanksgiving I put in for time off because my whole family was going to North Carolina for Thanksgiving. And they were like, oh, no, you can't have that off. I quit that job that day. I was like, bye. I was like, you're not going to tell me I can't go see my family. Okay. Not going to happen. Not when I'm here all the time. Y'all call me and say, can you close the store? Because you're the most reliable person we have. Can you do this? Can you do that? And I asked for 1 day off and y'all like, nah. I'm like, nope, you can keep that. So you don't really have control of your schedule. And then you're going from having one boss to having another boss. And for most people who want freedom of time, freedom of environment, freedom of whatever, you don't want another boss. Okay. So there's a lot of reasons why having a second job is not it, my friend. It's not the way. Okay. Now let's talk about the solution that I have found, and that is to have a corporate side hustle. All right. And why do I call it corporate side hustle? Because, if you are in a 9 to 5 corporate environment, you want a side hustle that isn't just a side hustle just to say you have one that may bring in a little cash. You want something that brings in cash flow that's worth your experience, that is worth your time, because you're already used to getting a salary. Why not position yourself to have something that could literally pay you a salary, right? You don't want no chump change anything, right? So with a corporate side hustle, you are able to use your corporate experience. You're able to use that experience that you have from being, in a corporate environment, right? You're able to use that to your advantage. If you are in corporate America, you are savvy. Rather you realize that you are not, you are savvy. All right. There's a lot of things you have to learn to navigate workplaces. You have to learn to network and connect around people and deal with different personalities. You have to learn how to manage multiple projects and things like that. You have to learn to manage all types of things. You can take those experiences and put it to your own benefit and use and monetize yourself in your own environment the way you want to. All right. And you can create extra cash flow for yourself. You can own your time and own your environment. I like being able to be in my bedroom and be able to do activities that produce cash flow for myself in my own environment. I like being able to say, oh, I'm going to go work in a cafe today. I'm going to do some things in a cafe today, right? I like that. I like being able to say, okay, I could have, someone over and I can, go eat a sandwich. I can be in my robe, right? If you have kids, you can have your kids. And you don't have to go and change your whole everything to be able to create extra cash flow. You don't have to ask somebody. If I decide that today, I don't want to do this, right? I still got to get it done, but I don't want to do something that I need to do for my cash flow. I don't have to do it. Okay. I can reschedule it for another day when I choose, or another time. Right? Whenever it's convenient for me. If that means 6 a.m., 1 a.m., 5 p.m., whatever works for Kirkshinta, that's what Kirkshinta can do for her corporate side hustle. You can do the same. So you own your time, you own your environment. You can do this part-time or full-time. Okay? And you are able to get commissions that are worth your time. Okay? So commissions of $250, $500, and $1,000. We ain't talking about no $25, $50. We're not talking about getting an Uber and driving Uber all weekend, and after gas and taxes and fees and people throwing up in your car and all this stuff like that, you taking home barely enough to say that it was worth that, right? We're talking about commissions that are worth your savvy that you already possess. Commissions that are worth your time. $250, $500, $1,000. That's what the commissions we're talking about. All right. On top of that, with this corporate side hustle that I am talking about, there is bonus leverage commissions. So you see, oh, all of a sudden I got excited talking about that. Bonus leverage commissions built into this side hustle. Okay. So there's a lot of industries out there. If you're in corporate America, you understand that there's many industries out there, like the real estate industry, sales agent industries, insurance, all of those industries like that, where you can come into those industries. Even, I had a friend at T-Mobile, and they had a built-in type of incentive as well, where when you come into these types of industries and you introduce someone else to the same side hustle, to the same system, okay, or organization, you can get a bonus commission when they go out and they start performing. Okay. So in this corporate side hustle, when you introduce someone to the system, okay, let's use $1,000 commission as an example. Okay. They come into the system and they're going to be a person who's going to leverage the corporate side hustle at the $1,000 package. Okay. When their first commission they get to keep, their second $1,000 commission passes up to you. So you get $1,000 for not doing anything but simply introducing them to the system, and it's a performance bonus. When they go out and they do what they're supposed to do, leveraging their corporate side hustle, you got an extra $1,000 for not doing anything extra. That's the same position I was put in last week. So I want to introduce this to people so they really understand that this is not like just like, you know, something that's different from the corporate standard. This is literally an example of what already exists in a corporate environment, and you get to leverage that as your corporate side hustle. Why not put yourself in a position to be able to say, oh, I could get an extra $250, $500, $1,000 commission on top of my efforts, right? For literally just plugging people into the same system. And I literally get second commission, second commission, second commission. Same thing happens to them. This is an amazing side hustle. Okay. And again, for those of you who are in corporate America, like I was, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. There's a few select people. Not everybody in corporate America hates their job. There's a lot of people in corporate America. Look, I loved what I did. I did not like the environment that I was in. I wanted control of the environment. I loved what I did. Loved what I did. Okay. So there's some people who they don't though, and they want to do this full time, right? The great thing about this is you can do that. So rather you want to work this corporate side hustle part-time or full-time, you are in position to do exactly just that. And this is a business in a box. Okay, so this is a side hustle, but it's a legitimate business and it's in a box. So what do I mean by that? When I say this is a business in a box, okay? So typically when a person decides, hey, I want to go start a business, right? They decide that they want to do that. They got to go out, they got to get a building, they got to get a phone, they got to get insurance. They got to get a computer. They might have to hire some people. They got to make sure they have all this extra cash flow on the side just to even stock the cash registers and all types of things like that. So a lot of things that they have to do. Okay. We don't have to do all of that. Literally, we get access to a website, which is where we work our corporate side hustle from. Okay. Inside that website is all the training that you need on what you need to know in order to work your corporate side hustle. You have access to a system that accepts the payments for you of $250, $500, and $1,000. So you have access to that. All right. And these are direct commissions. You do not split it with the company. You get these commissions direct, $250, $500, $1,000 direct to you. Okay. And you know, so everything that you need, right, is literally in this website. So it literally is a business in a box. All right. And this is a legitimate business. Okay. This business has paid out over $800,000 in commissions to everyday people like me and like many others, not only across America, but internationally. Okay. And a blueprint and training is provided. And if you're wondering to yourself, well, what kind of training are we talking about? Well, again, this system already gives you training on what you need to know in order to build yourself a well-paid corporate side hustle. I myself also give my actual blueprint. This is an actual training course that I have put together that you could get through in a day or two. And it walks you through how I went on to make over, at this point now, almost $25,000+ with this system. And it gives you the whole strategy. Okay, so the blueprint and training is provided if you are interested in producing your own corporate side hustle that pays you corporate level commissions. All right, so I just want to show some proof here. All right, and explain to you why this is a better solution than most of what people are doing to produce side hustles or even make extra income. It just, a lot of what people are doing does not make sense. They're chasing tiny commissions. They're, you know, working second jobs, which we already went over why that doesn't make a lot of sense. So here within 48 hours, this is my Cash App, and this is what I was able to produce within 48 hours. Okay. And I want to point out that I think it was 1,000 of that came from not even my own efforts. Okay. So again, back to that leverage that's built into the system. And then right here, this was what I was able to make in a day, and then in 7 days right here. So I just wanted to use these as some examples to just show that this, you know, you want to, if you're going to make a decision that you're going to earn some extra income, or you want to turn it into full-time income as a legitimate business, right? You could do either part-time or full-time. Either way, you want commissions that make sense to your bottom line. That's what you want. So this is what has been able to help myself and others be able to do that. So let's talk about this blueprint that allows you as a well-paid side hustle to produce cash flow. All right. So first of all, this is a digital work from home system. And by digital meaning anywhere you have a computer or a phone, you can legitimately work this and make it work for you. Okay. This provides 100% instant commissions. What that means is when you, through your marketing efforts, which the system shows you how to do, right? This is not like rocket science, my friends. Like there's beginners who've come in this and like beasted it out. Okay. So 100% instant commissions, they're paid to you. So you don't have to wait for a company to cut you a check on a Friday or a Wednesday or whatever. That day you generate a commission, it's there in your account, right? I actually, let me see if I can pull this up. So oh no, I can't show it, but I just wanted to make a point that was able to deposit just today another commission, right? So that whole point, I just wanted to let you know, so it's instant to you, and you actually decide how you want to receive payment from the system. Okay, there's so many ways that you can receive payment: Bitcoin, Zelle, Cash App, whatever payment processor that you want. You can receive payment how you want to receive payment. All right. And that's the great thing about it. All right. Step-by-step blueprint training is provided, right? You don't have to sit there and say, well, how do I make money with this? How do I use this? Right. Okay. Well, guess what? Step-by-step blueprint training is provided. Okay. No monthly fees. Right. So, you know,